Creating a body that's strong, resilient, creating a mind that knows how to problem solve, that's going to be what gets you through on race day. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly if you're new, and today we're talking all things marathon, specifically your first marathon. Whether you're on the fence right now deciding if you should or shouldn't sign up for one, if you're already in the middle of training and doubting yourself, or if you're a few weeks away from your first one, something in this video is going to help you. I've got 5 points to hit. I'm very passionate about all of them, and hopefully they make sense to you and just make you feel more confident. Tip number 1 is for those of you guys who have not yet signed up for the race, but you're thinking about it. I am speaking to you guys first because there is not gonna be one clear moment where you feel fully confident that you can do this. So if you're waiting to feel like that and then you'll sign up, you're never gonna sign up. I also say this because once you have something on the calendar, you will naturally build your life out and your training plan out to get you the results that you want. But until it's real, you're gonna keep kicking that dream down the road. Years could go by before you do this. Life's too short to waste that time. I know a lot of us worry about having the fitness to be able to even begin training for a marathon. That's so fair, especially those of you guys who wanted to lose weight before you get into training. All of that is completely reasonable. That being said, pick a race that's far enough out that also gives you that time prior to an official training plan to drop that weight and just become active in general. I really am someone who believes that a large majority of the population in this world could go run a marathon if they wanted to. But like most things, most difficult things, follow through is required for that. And building out a lifestyle infrastructure that allows you to show up, time and space for that training every single day, when it's good, when it's bad, when it's hard, when it's easy, that's the only way that you get through that finish line, is by continuing to show up. So every single person has this deep down, but we need to access that. And so if you're thinking about signing up, just know that you can train your brain and your body to get this thing done in the right way and in a safe way. Some indicators that might tell you, oh, I'm more ready than not, would be if you've done any races before and you feel like you get through the finish line and think to yourself, I could go a few more minutes, or I could go another mile, or wow, I ran that way faster than the last time I did the half marathon. Maybe I'm ready to try a different challenge, going longer and slow versus just speeding up my half marathon. Either way you slice it, there is never gonna be a perfect moment, a perfect reason to sign up. Trust me on this, just do it, get it on the calendar. All right, so we've signed up for this race, now we've gotta train for it, which brings me to tip number 2, do not compare your training to anyone else's. All you do when you compare yourself to other people is make yourself feel more inadequate, especially in the beginning when you're new to this sport, or at least new to the marathon aspect of it. When I keep absorbing information from other people, she posted this, he posted this on Strava, this, that, whatever, you're gonna continue to feel like you don't know what you're doing. And the longer you feel that for, the more the doubt creeps in and you start to convince yourself you're never gonna be cut out for this. If you clear away the noise and you build out a plan that you know works for you and gets you to show up every single day, which we're gonna get in the details of, that is plenty to make you follow through on this many months of training. If you try to copy people, especially when you're doing it kind of week to week and new information comes in and you keep making changes to your plan, you really can't build on that because it's just kind of all over the place. Especially I see this in the second half of marathon training, closer to the race, people get really competitive with their long run distances and frequency. So I'm gonna use myself as an example. I really believe in a balanced training plan. You guys know this. I balance strength work with my running. I don't do crazy high volume of either of them, and I believe this is why I have just gotten so many races under my belt, really loved running the whole time and not burnt out. I really believe this is why that happens. But also, I'm not worried about what other people are doing. So if I get to 20 miles once or twice before a marathon, usually once, that's good enough for me because I know my body. But if I do my 120 miler and then I'm over all these pages on the internet looking at someone did 18, 20, 23, maybe they even ran 25 and then they're gonna do the marathon, or somebody did 20 miles 6 different times before the marathon, I could easily let that start to affect me. I must not be ready and they must be ready. But we don't know anything else about their life. We don't know how they feel. We don't know why they did that. There's a lot of reasons people have for building out their training. So I just recommend in the beginning, stay focused on what you've decided to do for your training, build that out, stay committed, and keep your eyes on your own paper. The second piece to this tip is I really believe in finding balance between your normal life and the marathon training. I know it's very common for people to sign up for a marathon and go tunnel vision on the goal and cut everything else out, seeing everything else as a distraction. But I believe your mental health, your happiness overall is going to be a lot better if you can find a way to do both. I certainly feel like I have, and I know that if I had gone really hardcore on every single race, I probably would have stopped by now, just because it's so hard to maintain and you just feel like you're missing out constantly. There is a way to find a very healthy, regular way to train and also be there for the people in your lives and do the things that you love. You shouldn't have to give those things up. We can, of course, make nice little changes that make the training easier. From a health standpoint, of course, we can drink less, we can eat healthier, all those things, prioritize sleep. But I don't want you guys to fully sway the other way and feel like the rest of your life doesn't matter until the marathon's over. That's really, really important to me. And I think you'll find you're gonna be long-term much happier having kept your friends and family with you along the way and still gaining your results, but knowing this could be sustainable for another race after. Tip number 3 is we have to avoid analyzing our progress on a daily basis, figuring out if we're getting better or not on a daily basis. Progress is not going to be linear because running is one of those beautiful things where you could have 3 horrible days in a row and on the 4th day, everything clicks. Suddenly you're a new person. Suddenly you can call yourself a runner. You don't get to experience those moments though if you stop beforehand, all because you think you're not making any progress. It's really weird how our mind can get in the way here, but I want to give you an example. Say I'm supposed to go run for 20 minutes. I am so tired, didn't sleep at all, didn't eat well today. All I want to do is not do it. I put on the shoes and I go out and I go 5 minutes out and 5 minutes back. I get 10 minutes done. No, it wasn't the 20, but the mental gymnastics of getting out there and doing it anyway, that is the forward progress that day. It's not the 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. It's the fact that you worked through the problem and did something. That kind of progress forward is what sneakily shows up on that day 4, like I'm talking about, when everything clicks and comes together. If we analyze, though, every little detail of what we did and didn't do, we actually stop our progress and lose all confidence, and that doubt can really stop us from continuing forward. There's a lot of people that sign up for a marathon training plan and do not finish it, and these are the reasons why. I want you guys to know that your progress is always happening, but again, it's not linear and it's not obvious. Any little progress forward can be mental, can be physical. It will not be obvious usually on the day of, but you'll see it in chunks of time. Couple weeks in, month in, 2 months in, things will change, but you have to keep your head down and trust the process. And I want you guys to know that the hardest days you experience are the best preparation possible for that marathon day. If you had perfect training days start to finish and everything went perfectly in order, and you ran into a big problem on race day, which is totally possible, you would have no idea how to handle it because you didn't get any practice in the problem department. So you want to know that those negative days or those days that just feel really tough are the most important ones in rolling that ball forward. This very nicely ties into tip number 4, which is this is going to be really hard and it's supposed to be really hard. Less than 1% of the population in the US has finished a full marathon. I couldn't get global stats, but it's believed to be very similar percentage. Either way, guys, this is a very small number of people on this planet who have completed the full marathon. So the fact that this is even in the realm of possibility for you is so special, and I want this finish for you. As I said in the beginning, follow through is the hardest thing for people. There's so many excuses and things that can get in the way. We're all very distracted, but putting your mind to something and making it completed all the way through that finish line, I mean, that is the most special feeling in the world. The physical aspect of it, of course, is such a bonus, but training yourself to really show up for yourself every single day is just a really incredible feat. So I want to confirm for you, you're not looking for this to ever be easy. You're actually doing it because it's hard. And that's what's going to affect your life in so many amazing ways. Really, in work, in personal, everything's going to bleed over because you have now watched yourself follow through for months of training all the way through your race. For tip number 5, we're going very practical. I want to kind of give my take on what your training plan should look like and what's worked for me, starting with training volume should not be linear in growth, meaning you start with nothing and build every single week extra mileage until you're at race distance. If we do this, we leave no room for error and we don't build in time for the body to recover properly and build that foundation. Because this is your first marathon, I really like the idea of going 4 or 5 weeks of build, 1 week of deload, where it's just smaller volume in all of your run workouts. Give your body that extra time to repair, recover, build that foundation. Then you go back up again and you keep building up, of course, to the mileage that you want for your long runs, prepped and ready for the race, but you're not constantly building. Next point on this is I want you guys to feel flexible in your training plan. Things are inevitably going to come up. I can't think of a time in my life where I had 4 to 5 solid months where nothing went wrong. Something's going to come up. Somebody gets sick in the family, work deadline, trip unexpected, all those things go on. And I want you guys to expect it. It's part of your training plan. On paper, it's going to be hard to cross off a day that didn't go perfectly or move days around or maybe miss a run, but it's going to happen. The sooner you know that and the sooner you expect it, you're not going to use these reasons as excuses and again, let the doubt creep in and quit altogether. Flexibility is very, very necessary. And the final point I want to make, guys, is that really the point of this training plan is building out a body and a mind that is ready for anything. Trusting what's inside to get you through anything, whether it's a marathon or something else. When we look at it this way, we can actually become a lot more well-rounded as an athlete versus just creating workouts that prove to us more and more that we're going to be able to replicate on race day. So a good example of what I mean is running 26.2 miles before race day, and that being the only reason we believe we can do it on race day, that's not getting the job done. Creating a body that's strong, resilient, creating a mind that knows how to problem solve, that's going to be what gets you through on race day, because we really can't expect things to go perfectly, as I said. That goes into your training plan. You really want to create something well-rounded and balanced. I want to see hills in there. I want to see tempo work. I want to see form in the way of drills, but paying attention to how you run every single step. Good mobility work, obviously warm-ups and cool-downs being prioritized, and of course, finding enjoyment in the long runs. Going out there, spending the time, and kind of mixing up week to week mileage versus time on feet. I think that's a really healthy way to look at it too, so you're not constantly focused on the number of the mile. That can't be everything. We have to really build a body that's ready to be out there for having a long day. How do we eat during that? How do we take care of our body to get through that? All those things really matter. I know that was kind of a mouthful at the end there, but I believe in balance, and I believe in you going into race day knowing you've got everything it takes because you practiced from all angles. You practiced when you felt like it, when you didn't feel like it, when your body was at 100%, 10%. You guys got this. I know you do. I hope this inspired you to sign up if you haven't yet. If we need me to do more in-depth on the marathon training, I'm happy to. As always, I've got training plans available, including for the marathon. They're down in the description. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.